Bills game has officially been moved by the NFL to Detroit at 1 Eastern on Sunday due to public safety concerns and an abundance of caution with heavy snow forecast this weekend in Buffalo. Titans and Packers kick off Week 11 of the NFL season tonight. Green Bay looking to get into playoff contention in the NFC, hoping to build on last week's win over Dallas, where its running game was key. Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon with over 200 yards on the ground. The Packers need that same approach tonight, says Barton Hahn co-host Bart Scott.
They have to commit to the run because it sets up everything else that they want on the back end. To be able to attack this Titans secondary, you have to first get those safeties to commit 8 in the box, one-on-one coverage, and take advantage of when you do that. To do that, you got to run the football.
For the second time in 2 days, the Eagles adding a veteran defensive tackle. Phillies agreed on a one-year deal with Ndamukong Suh. They added Linval Joseph yesterday. The Eagles have struggled against the run with rookie Jordan Davis on IR. NBA X-rays on Hornets point guard LaMelo Ball's left ankle were negative. He has been ruled out already tomorrow night against the Cavaliers.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
If you having take problems, I feel bad for you, son. I got 99 problems, but a Chris ain't one. Hit me.
This is Canty and Carlin.
DJ Khaled.
Another one.
He is courtside at a Miami Heat game with a silk pillow under his J's so that he does not scrape them up. Honestly, really? A silk pillow?
You're DJ Khaled. If your J's get scuffed, you can buy more J's.
Buy another pair.
That's the whole point.
You heard Key a few weeks ago say, you got 5 wears in them and then you're out. Yeah, I got a couple of
You
pairs
like
of J's.
sneakers, but you're not a sneakerhead.
No, I wouldn't say I'm a sneakerhead.
Yeah.
I got a few pairs.
Kimberly Martin is on a different level.
She's
going to be on.
Okay, as somebody who loves a silk pillowcase at night for her edges, I feel like it was a bit.
Oh, you're giving away all the secrets today.
Wow.
You're giving them all away today.
This is Canty and Carlin on ESPN Radio. Plus, listen and watch on the ESPN app.
Amber, I feel like the problem is like bringing the silk pillow to a basketball game. Not the fact that he wants to keep his J's clean. Like, we're bringing in paraphernalia. What are we doing?
Although there's few things cleaner than the basketball court, right? Because obviously he's sitting courtside. Also, he's done this before, by the way. I don't know why no one's noticed it before. He's pulled this shtick before. This is Canty and Garland on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, Sirius XM Channel 80, and on your smart speakers. Canty and Garland is presented to you by Progressive Insurance. She is Shay Cornett. I am Amber Wilson. We are filling in for the guys today. You can always hit us up. Give us a call on the Dr. Pepper call-in line, 888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776. So we got Thursday night football action coming your way. We've been talking about it all show long. The 6-3 Titans against the 4-6 Packers. 8:15 tonight on Amazon. Let's bring in some help for the conversation surrounding the Packers. Jason Wilde, he is the co-host of Wilde and Tausch on ESPN Wisconsin. And Jason, thanks so much for joining us. The Packers found a little bit of an offensive rhythm finally last week, and that rhythm apparently involves taking the ball out of Aaron Rodgers' hands and handing it to the other Aaron on the team. How much do you expect that to be part of the game plan moving forward?
Well, it'll be tough to do that tonight against a really good run defense, but it's great to be with you. I know Rob Domofsky has a lot of TV responsibility, so I'm always willing to be Rob Domofsky Jr. All right, so here's the problem with their offense. And when we talked to Aaron Rodgers at his locker this week, I asked him, look, you got Christian Watson back in the mix and having an impact down the field. You've got your 5 starting offensive linemen playing all the snaps together for the first time all season. You're under center more than you were in the shotgun for the first time all year against the Cowboys. You've got Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon combining for over 200 rushing yards on 37 carries. Is this what you pictured the offense to be, and could you be starting to see it come to fruition? And instead of an inspiring relax or run the table, I don't know. So I don't know what their offense is going to look like tonight, right? You would think that you would want to stick with that formula because it works so well. But the Cowboys' run defense is 26th in the league. The Titans' run defense is 2nd. I think they have to run the football. You cannot have a game where Matt LaFleur is up there at the podium in front of us tonight saying, should have gotten the ball to Aaron Jones more, which Lord knows he's said a lot this season. But they have to take some of the good things about Sunday's game plan and apply them tonight against the Titans.
Okay, so Wildy, my question now goes to Randall Cobb, because obviously we saw Aaron Rodgers and Josh Dobbs have a little bit of Romeo Dobbs, have chemistry, and then now he didn't play last week. He's going to be out for the next couple of weeks, and so they activate Randall Cobb. And I know we're saying stick to the run game, but perhaps Randall Cobb gets in the mix here in terms of the passing game?
For sure he will. I mean, there's not too many people that Rodgers trusts yet on this offense. Even Romeo Dobbs, who had some really good moments and then suffered the high ankle sprain on the first series in Detroit a couple weeks ago, there were still plenty of frustrations for Rodgers because he's a rookie, and that's what rookies do. They cause quarterbacks frustration, and some quarterbacks show it more intensely than others, and the TV cameras catch them more frequently in their frustration. But look, Cobb has been his go-to guy on third down. I'm sure he is extremely excited to have him back. The issue is, what else will they have in the passing game? Because on the flip side of how good this run defense is that the Titans have, they're 31st against the pass. Obviously, some of that is nobody wants to run, so they're throwing the ball against them, but they have to have productivity. They need Cobb picking up third downs, which has been his specialty since he came back to the Packers last year. They need Alan Lazard to be consistently productive. He's been dealing with a shoulder injury. They need to get more out of their tight end position, which has been hit or miss. And they need Christian Watson, even if he's not getting the ball on deep throws. This is the one thing Rodgers has been pleading for. They weren't able to have it because Watson hasn't been healthy. They need some sort of vertical stretch-the-field option because they have been playing as an offense, and I still can't believe that there are two defenses in a row that have taken this approach, dared to pass the ball. Who would have thought that an Aaron Rodgers-led offense would be being dared to throw the football, but that's exactly what's happened the last few weeks.
Jason Wilde, he's a co-host of Wilde and Tausch on ESPN Wisconsin, joining us here on Canty and Carlin. Amber Wilson and Shea Cornett filling in for the guys. So, Jason, you said that when you asked Aaron Rodgers about the offense, you were expecting some sort of, confidence, and his answer was, I don't know if it'll work moving forward. Since you talk to him often, obviously, and you cover this team, do you ever get from this version of Aaron Rodgers, like the confident, direct answer anymore? Or is like everything with this Aaron Rodgers kind of like I don't know, we'll see?
It's a beautiful mystery. Yeah. So look, there's been a few other beat writers that have been trying to kind of, I don't want to say twist his arm to get that kind of signature phrase out of him, and he has resisted it. One of my very, very, very few claims to fame was when he and I were doing the radio show together that he delivered the RELAX, which they always cut out the part where I said, when he says 5-letter word and I say panic, that somehow doesn't make the clip, and I don't understand why. But the bottom line is that he's not going to give you that kind of confident response because he's not that confident.
Yeah.
Saying that they've turned the corner is premature, and I wasn't trying to get him to say that even. Just, are you starting to see signs of what you want your offense to be? And he wouldn't even go that far. I think that's why tonight is so incredibly important, because if they can validate what they did against Mike McCarthy and the Cowboys with another strong offensive performance, I don't know how many points that requires, enough to win the game, then maybe he can start to feel a little more confidence. But I thought it was really telling that he had an opportunity to not necessarily exude a ton of confidence, but at least say something that said, hey, we're headed in the right direction. But he didn't even want to go that far.
Wilde, one last thing from me here. The Packers are obviously on a short week here, coming off that game against the Cowboys on Sunday, but they stay at home. So is there an advantage or a disadvantage to coming off of a win, staying at home on a short week?
Well, there's a huge advantage of not having to travel on either end of that, right? And obviously the Titans do have to travel. We saw their buses pulling in yesterday. Look, this whole sleeping at the office, which is what LaFleur and Joe Barry and a bunch of other coaches did, that's great. But make sure that while you're burning the midnight oil, you're coming up with a good game plan, obviously, because working more doesn't necessarily working smarter. So
right.
I think it's an advantage. The biggest question about the disadvantage part, I would say, is with the short week are left tackle David Bakhtiari and left guard Elton Jenkins, who have dealt with post-knee injury issues all season long, going to be able to play all the snaps tonight on a short week. They did not even take part in walkthroughs during the week, trying to save all of their energy. If they're able to play and play as effectively as they have the last couple of weeks, that is a huge advantage for them.
Well, we will find out tonight when the Packers take on the Titans on Thursday Night Football. Jason Wilde, he's the co-host of Wilde and Tausch on ESPN Wisconsin. Jason, thanks so much for stopping by.
Anytime. Thanks for having me. Take care.
Bye,
Be good.
Jason.
Coming up next, Chris Carlin ranked his top 5 dark horse Super Bowl teams this morning when he was filling in for Greeny. Find out
ready for this.
if the Green Bay Packers make the list. That is next. This is ESPN Radio.
Coming up on Friday, could either Saquon Barkley or my good friend and buddy Tyreek Hill really contend for an NFL MVP? I'll tell you. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, Friday at 6 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, ESPNU.
Football season is underway, so now is the perfect time to download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Because right now, new customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. Just sign up with promo code PLAY. FanDuel has all your favorite bets from the money line to point spreads to player props. So sign up today with promo code PLAY for your no-sweat first bet. Make every moment more this season with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL.
21 plus in select states. First online real money wager only. Refund issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expires in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG in Colorado, Iowa, Michigan, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Illinois, and Virginia. 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342 in Arizona. 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. 1-800-9-WITH-IT in Indiana. 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com in Kansas. 1-877-770-STOP Louisiana. 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 in New York. Tennessee Redline 1-800-889-9789 in Tennessee. 1-800-522-4700 in Wyoming or visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net in West Virginia.
At the Long Branch Steakhouse, you know about the incredible steaks cooked to perfection. But did you know you can have your own private holiday or Christmas party at the Long Branch in Gifford? If you have a company party that you're planning, you can rent the whole place on a Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday night. To plan your event between 25 and 50 people, call 217-568-7722. We did it. It was fabulous. The Long Branch Steakhouse for your Christmas or holiday party. Limited nights are available. Call 217-568-7722.
Starting physical therapy at Mettler Center has never been easier. No doctor's referral is necessary since Illinois is a direct access state, and we are in network with all major insurance providers. At Mettler, we accept Health Alliance, Blue Cross Blue Shield, United Healthcare, HealthLink, Medicare, and most recently, Aetna and Cigna. If you are in pain or struggling with an injury, we invite you to schedule a complimentary 30-minute consultation today to see if therapy is right for you. Learn more at MettlerCenter.com.
It's a totally Christmas winter wonderland at Prairie Gardens. Ornaments, decor, wreaths, garlands, and so much more, all ready now, along with brand new savings. This week, save 50% off all Christmas bushes. Select large Christmas candle jars are $6.97. All furniture, save 10%. Plus, find your perfect artificial Christmas tree with the largest selection around and very best tree guarantee at Prairie Gardens, your Christmas destination for over 50 years.
Carpet Weavers is flooring their customers. They work with the biggest brands to bring you the best selections and prices on hardwood, luxury tile, carpet, and more. Stop in at 616 West Market View Drive in Champaign and let one of their sales associates help you find the perfect flooring for your lifestyle. Their 100% satisfaction guarantee allows you to be confident in your purchase. Carpet Weavers has been flooring people with beautiful carpet and flooring since 1988. In fact, they're nationally ranked as one of the top 25 specialty flooring stores in the country. Find out more online at carpetweaversflooring.com.
Sure, we offer push-button mortgage applications, but when it comes to getting the money for the house of your dreams, we offer something far more advanced, and we call her Brenda. A real person who knows you better than any app and works hard to make things simple, cutting through red tape, meeting you outside the office, and in between life's busy moments. For a great rate and a great deal, call Brenda at Iroquois Federal Champaign and let her help you get home. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 472172.
Hi, this is Chris Jackson with Kramer Siding and Window, and we're proud to be your choice for the 2021 People's Choice Awards for the third year in a row. We want to say thank you by offering buy one, get one 50% off on all windows. And you can save 10% on roofing, sunrooms, and decks. So call today or visit us at kramersiding.com. And remember, at Kramer Siding and Window, you have a friend in the business.
Feel the difference with exclusive fall savings from Matex. For nearly 3 decades, Matex has been the top-rated, most trained, and most trusted team in Central Illinois. Now for a limited time, take up to $1,200 off select new heating and cooling systems. all backed by the Matex 100% satisfaction guarantee. Don't miss this limited time offer. Call or schedule your appointment online today. Matex. Feel the difference.
Kick off the holiday season in downtown Champaign at the Parade of Lights presented by Christie Clinic on Saturday, November 26th. The parade starts at 6 p.m. and includes marching bands, lighted floats, and so much more. Come early to meet Santa at Big Grove Tavern, sponsored by Ryan Dallas Real Estate. After the parade, Santa will need your help to illuminate the Tree of Lights at First Main Plaza. The Parade of Lights is sponsored by Christie Clinic, Feldkamp's Towing, Tyson's Disposal, Dixon Graphics, Hickory Point Bank and Trust, and organized by the Champaign Center Partnership.
Hey Illini fans, it's your girl Chineo Gumake. Catch Lante and Derek Piper weekdays from 4 to 6 right here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Amber Wilson and Shay Cornett filling in for the guys here on Canty and Carlin. You can give her a follow on Twitter at Shay Pepler. You can give me a follow at Amber W Sports. So we're filling in for the guys because the guys were filling in for Greeny today. And on Greeny, they do a segment called the Green List. So today, Chris Carlin filled in on the Green List. And he gave us his top 5 dark horse teams to make the Super Bowl this season. Buckle up. I'm going to read you his green list here. Starting at number 5, he has the New England Patriots. Shay, I'm shocked the Patriots are on this list because, honestly, I don't consider them a dark horse or like any sort of horse to make a Super Bowl. They ain't making a Super Bowl.
Well, first of all, they're last in their division. So let's just start with that fact. They're not tied for last. They're dead last. They're 5-4 so far on the year. And ahead of them, in case you need to be reminded who's in the AFC East, are the likes of the Dolphins, the Jets, and the Bills, who I think are all better and more well-rounded teams than the Patriots right now. I know there's like this Bill Belichick factor, and that is one that I understand too, can never be counted out. So maybe with that being said, I understand where Chris Carlin is coming from. However, I don't trust Mac Jones yet. I actually think he's regressed from a year ago. I don't think there's enough weapons or enough threats on both sides of the ball there for the Patriots yet. And so for me, this is a hard one to sell. And I feel like there's better dark horses in that division alone, let alone the entire National Football League, than the Patriots.
I agree with you. Let me run through the rest of this list and see if the Dolphins or the Jets make an appearance on this list. The Giants are sitting at 4th on this list. The Seahawks 3rd on this list. The Jets 2nd on this list. And the Bengals 1st on this list. So Patriots, Giants, Seahawks, Jets, and Bengals as his top 5 dark horses to make a Super Bowl. So let's go backwards a little bit again, because the Dolphins are not on this list at all. And you just mentioned that division. Now, apparently that's because Carlin doesn't feel like they're a dark horse, that they're just like a legitimate contender, which as a Dolphins fan, that makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside, but I'm also shocked to hear it and nervous. Like, everyone calm down on making us a legitimate contender. Like, relax. We've had a bad couple decades here. How about we just focus on a postseason win before we talk about legitimate contender, Shay?
But you have all the pieces in place. And I mean, I agree with you. It's like Eagles fans wanted to get the loss out of the way, and now they've been able to do that. So I understand you like having like trepidation about it. I actually agree with the rest of this list. I like the Pats. I don't like the Pats, but the Giants, Seahawks, Jets, Bengals, I don't mind with. Jets feels a little premature to me. So Jets and Patriots would be the two that I have issues with. I think it's a lot easier to talk about the Dolphins and the Bills, and I know that's a little more chalk and easier to say, but Seahawks I'm on board with, and Bengals I'm on board with too. I think those are two teams that have proven that they can do it, that they can handle the pressure, that they've got the quarterbacks in place to lead their team where they want to go, and the weapons around them. Jets defense, sure. Jets offense, no. Giants, yeah, I'm on board with that one. I actually think that they've got a really good roster this year, and the Patriots, I just can't get on board with it. So Jets and Patriots for me, a little far-fetched, maybe a little bit of his East Coastism coming through on that list a little bit there. That's my take. So I don't love the Patriots and the Jets on that list, and especially not the Jets at number 2. Ugh.
Yeah, I mean, the Patriots I don't like on this list because I don't even think they're making the postseason. The Jets, I also don't know if they're making the postseason. Also, I can't buy into a team as a true dark horse. We're talking about making the Super Bowl, like making the Super Bowl with Zach Wilson at the helm. I have no idea if Zach Wilson's any good. Is Robert Saleh a good coach? Like, I don't know. I mean, the Jets are obviously having a good season and they're surprising us all. I think there's a surprise element here to the Jets being part of that Super Bowl conversation. And I know if you're talking about dark horse, then yes, there's going to be a surprise element to all these teams, which is why I guess the Seahawks being on this list, I don't have a big problem with, because yes, they're shocking us all and they seem legitimately good. But at least with the Seahawks, unlike the Jets, like I know Pete Carroll can win a Super Bowl, you know, like not only can he win a Super Bowl, he can win national championships, he can do it all. And I know that about a 70-year-old Pete Carroll at this point. So even though I don't really fully believe in Geno Smith because I think that the sample size is so small compared to the rest of his NFL career, at least I believe in that coaching staff. I have questions with the coaching staff with the Jets just because I've seen so little of it, even though it's going well so far. I guess with the Giants, I mean, I don't hate it. I have a hard time buying into either of these New York teams being in the Super Bowl. It doesn't make me completely uncomfortable, though, to have them as a dark horse. Fine. The Bengals, to me, I actually have a problem with being on this list because I don't think of the Bengals as a dark horse. Like, how are the Dolphins not a dark horse, but the Bengals are the team that was just in the Super Bowl that has Joe Burrow at the helm, who we have no questions about? I don't understand the Bengals' inclusion as a dark horse. Not that I don't believe the Bengals could get to a Super Bowl, because I do. I've seen them do it. I don't know why they'd be still considered a dark horse at this point.
The only reason why I could see where he's coming from is because no one's talking about them anymore as like a legitimate team to go far in the postseason because of the issues they've had with their offensive line. Even though they've tried really hard to fix the problem, Joe Burrow can't stay upright. And so I see, but then you don't have Jamar Chase too for a few weeks. And so all of those things combined, and which you've seen now, they've struggled to score when you don't have Jamar Chase. So, and unless it's like the Joe Mixon game, which it was against the Panthers. But anyways, I could see where he's coming from with that, because we're not talking about the Bengals in the same light we were a year ago, unless you're talking to my husband.
Well, we weren't talking about them at this point a year ago.
True.
None of us were. And
but even like the first, but even the first couple weeks of the season, I felt like we were, is there a Super Bowl hangover? Like they were in conversations. We've stopped because they just haven't proven that they're still that same team as they were a year ago. It's a good path for them given the division that they play in, because it's like them or the Ravens, I think. Although maybe the Steelers are onto something now that their defense is getting a little bit healthier. Back to the Jets and Patriots. They play each other this weekend in Foxborough, and I think we'll see. Is that game going to be awful? Is that going to be a game that's hard to watch? Because if it is, I think we can throw this list in the garbage. Because if it's not, if we actually see some decent quarterback play from Mac Jones and Zach Wilson, we see some good defense, and if we can actually see these are good teams, fine. But so far, I have yet to see a complete game from either one of those teams. But this weekend will tell us a lot.
He's got to have somebody on this list, right? Now, for me, I would have my Dolphins on the list as a dark horse, but maybe he thinks they're a legitimate contender. Fine. Who else, though, would he, if we're taking off, because both you and I are uncomfortable with the Patriots and the Jets' inclusion in this list. If we're taking those two teams off, though, who are you putting in? Would the Titans be a dark horse? I mean, we're talking about a team that, was the 1 seed last season. Would they be part of the conversation? I mean, I can't imagine the Ravens are a dark horse. A lot of people thought of them as a legitimate contender. I don't know who else to include out of the AFC if we're talking AFC teams.
Would you put the Niners as a dark horse?
No, I mean, now we're talking about a Niners team. I mean, who could have expected that we'd have Jimmy Garoppolo back at the helm? I guess
maybe the Packers as a dark horse. Those.
I mean, these are teams that are it's like with the Niners. I've seen them in a Super Bowl with Jimmy Garoppolo. With the Packers, we're talking about the reigning MVP. I guess dark horse feels like a stretch to me, particularly with that Packers team. I mean, they've been underperforming. Also, I mean, that Packers team, it ain't making a Super Bowl. I know they bounced back a little bit against the Cowboys. Super Bowl? We're already at Super Bowl.
But I would believe in the Packers more so than the Jets and more so than the Patriots. To go, if we're talking about dark horses to go to a Super Bowl, and this is what I'm working with, I'd insert the Packers over the Jets at number 2.
I just have a hard time believing them as a dark horse. I just don't think you can have Aaron Rodgers at the helm and I guess be, the team that comes out of nowhere that none of us are expecting. None of us were expecting the Seahawks.
They're horrible this year.
Well, they're awful. Yes, they're awful. I mean, I guess now if we evaluate this week 11, but they're still the Packers. They still have Aaron Rodgers. They're still aided by a bad conference here. And I mean, I don't know. I don't think I can include them in the dark horse conversation, but I'm struggling who the other teams would be to replace
so
the
you
Jets
put
and
in
the
your
Patriots.
Dolphins, I'll put in the Packers, and we've suddenly fixed his list. Look,
Fine,
we've put in the Dolphins and the Packers, and now this list is perfect. That's all we see. You just needed a woman's touch, Carlin. That's all you needed. We erased the Patriots, we put the Dolphins there at 5, and we took out the Jets. We put the Packers there at number 2, and it's perfect. It is now perfect. That's it. We've rounded it out perfectly. See?
There you go. All right. We did it. You're welcome, Chris Carlin. Amber Wilson and Shay Cornett filling in for the guys here on Canty and Carlin. Speaking of fixing things, how the heck do you fix the Brooklyn Nets and their issues? We'll get into it. That is after Shay has this word from Bosley.
All right, from Bosley, we've got a word coming up here on Canty and Carlin on ESPN Radio.
Guys, if you're suffering from hair loss, I got it. Or worried about your hair, you've got to check out Bosley, America's #1 hair restoration experts. The sooner you take action, the more options you'll have for keeping and restoring your hair. Bosley has both surgical and non-surgical solutions to help you keep the hair you have and grow thicker, fuller hair when you need it most. Right now, Bosley is giving away a free information kit and $250 gift card towards a procedure. All you have to do is just text Carlin to 203-203. You don't want to wait when it comes to hair loss. Just get the information and learn what you can be doing right now to keep or grow your hair. People trust Bosley. They are truly the leaders in hair restoration. They have the most experience restoring hair, and experience matters. So what are you waiting for? Get your free Bosley info kit and $250 gift card when you text Carlin to 203-203. That is Carlin to 203-203.
Hey, it's Greeny, and on our Football Friday, we'll be looking back at a big one between the Packers and Titans and ahead to the monster matchup between Dallas and Minnesota for the top of the NFC. We're talking about it. It's Greeny, starting 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-511-3535. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider, 800-511-3535. That's 800-511-3535. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with, call Big Lou at 800-511-3535.
Hi, y'all. Welcome back to Trucker Lives Matter, presented by Gail Fredericks Trucking. Today, we have a special guest, Donna, the operations manager at GFT. Hi, Donna.
Hi, Dixie. Thank you for having me.
Tell me, Donna, what's so special about driving for GFT?
First and foremost, our drivers truly matter. They get top pay plus opportunities for monthly bonuses, every weekend at home, paid holidays and vacations, and they are pre-dispatched so they aren't wasting time waiting on us.
Oh, girl, I love money. Tell me more about the pay.
We pay on percentage, so our rate increases have meant our driver pay has actually exceeded inflation. Our van drivers have averaged 78 cents per mile this year, and our flatbedders have seen 82 to 85 cents per mile on average.
Donna, tell our trucking audience how they can get on with GFT.
Our openings are limited, but professional drivers can call 765-793-7131 or email dixie@gftlog.com.
There you have it, drivers. Call 765-793-7131 today.
Kelsey Furniture in downtown Tuscola sells Tempur-Pedic beds. What's it like?
I'm going to tell you right now, Stevie, that thing is the best thing I've ever slept on in my life. My wife and I both have said we've never had better night's sleep. And the people at Kelsey's were fantastic. Brian is the guy that helped us. You know, as much as I did my research, he has a world of knowledge about beds themselves. Oh, man, it's like sleeping on a cloud, man.
Kelsey Furniture, downtown Tuscola.
If you're in the market for a new car battery, you could go to one of those big box stores, except there's no guarantee you'll be served by an actual car expert.
Clean up in aisle 3.
You could pick a battery off the shelf, except it might be close to expiring. Or you could just come into Interstate. Don't make a big box store blunder. With competitive prices and a more personal, reliable approach, Interstate Batteries is the clear-cut choice if you want to guarantee yourself a new and trustworthy car battery. They're open and ready to serve you at 2504 North Mattis Avenue in Champaign.
These days, you don't mind staying up a little late or waiting in line. These days, button-downs turn into t-shirts, and dinner consists of popcorn and a pretzel. These days are about singing and yelling and jumping. These days are game days. Game Day Spirit, where Fighting Illini fans shop.
Congratulations to Sarah Champagne. Sarah Honda has won the President's Award. This is an award recognizing the best Honda dealerships in America. Sarah Honda has achieved excellence in sales, service, and customer satisfaction. When you go into Sarah Champagne, you'll see what winning the Honda President's Award means with their outstanding focus on you. Visit Sarah Champagne and experience excellence with not only Honda, but GMC, Buick, BMW, and Subaru. Sarah Champagne, off Neal at Burwash in Savoy.
Saturday, March 25th, it's Cody Johnson and Friends, live in concert at State Farm Center.
Love somebody, hold them as long and as strong and as close as you can, until you can.
Tickets are on sale now for Cody Johnson and Friends.
I guess all I'm saying is forgive me if I don't know what I'm doing. I'm still learning to be human.
With special guest Randy Houser.
Let me show you how country feels.
Cody Johnson and Friends, live at State Farm Center, Saturday, March 25th.
On my way to you.
Tickets for Cody Johnson and Friends are on sale now. Get yours at statefarmcenter.com, the Illinois ticket office, and by phone at 866-ILLINI-1.
Hey, Illini fans, it's Max Kellerman. Catch Lon Tay and Derek Piper weekdays from 4 to 6 right here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The NFL is moving the Bills-Browns game to Detroit on Sunday at 1 Eastern due to public safety concerns and an abundance of caution in light of heavy snow forecast for Buffalo this weekend. The Packers, coming off the critical comeback win over the Cowboys, host the Titans in the opening game of Week 11 of the NFL season. Green Bay in need of a victory tonight if it's going to climb back into playoff contention in the NFC, and a big part of its game plan will focus on Titans running back Derrick Henry. Notes Canty and Carlin co-host Chris Canty.
Green Bay's defense, they know they've struggled with the run game. So you got to imagine that defensive coordinator Joe Barry is going to commit as many resources to the line of scrimmage and stopping Derrick Henry as often as he can. But the problem is what happens in terms of the play action pass and the receivers for the Tennessee Titans getting one-on-one opportunities.
Chris Canty on Greeny. The Eagles are bringing in a veteran defensive tackle for a second consecutive day. Yesterday it was Naval Joseph. Today it's Ndamukong Suh. He reached a one-year deal with Philly. Philadelphia has struggled against the run with rookie Jordan Davis on injured reserve. He is set to miss at least another 2 games.
Brought to you by Capital One Auto Navigator, where you can find a car, get pre-qualified instantly, and see your real monthly payment without impacting your credit score. Capital One, what's in your wallet? Terms and conditions apply. Find out more at CapitalOne.com/Auto Navigator.
Amber Wilson and Shay Cornett filling in for the guys here on Canty and Carlin. Canty and Carlin is presented to you by Progressive Insurance. Canty and Carlin is also brought to you by CSX. CSX is hiring. Visit csx.com/careers. So we were talking about this situation with the Brooklyn Nets earlier in the show, and nothing gets Shay Cornett fired up like Kevin Durant talk. So let's do it again and get Shay all hot and bothered. All right. Kevin Durant was speaking to Bleacher Report. He was speaking to Chris Haynes, and he had a lot of comments and a lot of quotes in this story that are interesting. But one that I think sticks out to everyone is that Kevin Durant said, quote, I'm not a leader. What the bleep does that mean? A lot of people say I'm not a leader because I didn't tell Kyrie to get vaccinated. Come on. Or I didn't condemn Kyrie for leaving the team, going out and living his life. I'm not about to tell a grown bleep man what he can and can't do with his own life and dissect his views or how he thinks about bleep. Lots of bleeps in there, Shay. Lots of bleeps to avoid. All right, so that's Kevin Durant's take, where obviously we know KD very famously hears all the noise. He's listening to all the noise, and he's taking issue with the fact that people question his leadership. He is taking issue with you, Shay Cornett.
Yeah, sure. I could care less what you said and didn't say to Kyrie Irving. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about in moments where your team clearly needs a voice of reason. I haven't heard from you. So I'm talking about whatever with Kyrie being vaccinated, but maybe during that time you coming to the podium and just simply stating, like, own it. You know what I mean? Like, be forthcoming. Hey, you know what? Kyrie's decision is his decision, but we're going to keep playing ball with this group around us that we have, and we're going to do it to the best of our abilities. I need to be better in X, Y, and Z. Harden at the time needs to be better at X, Y, and Z. We're going to, like, this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about at a time where your teammate who was suspended and needs to go through a lot of things before returning to the team, and you might want him back. Maybe it's saying, if what you're trying to say is you need Kyrie, then say that. If what you're trying to say is the guys around you need to be better, then say that. If what you're trying to say is you need more help from the front office or whoever, then you need to say that. But this beating around the bush, like, I don't know about, I don't know why my leadership stuff isn't good, and like, what did you expect from these guys? Like, what are we doing here? Like, that's like something I feel like a middle schooler would say, not someone who's been in the league for a lot of years. And Kevin Durant is a phenomenal basketball player. I am not taking that away from him. But if you are not going to be the guy that's going to step up in a time where you don't trust your head coach and Steve Nash at the time, you were the one that came forward and said you wanted to trade because you didn't like what was going on around you, then you need to say, hey, I'm going to stay here. And if I can't be the voice of reason, we need to bring someone in who's going to be a veteran of some sort that is going to be that person. You need to do that, Durant, because you're the face of that franchise now, whether you like it or not, because Harden's out of town, Ben Simmons ain't playing, and Kyrie is suspended. So now you need to find a way to be that voice, and it's frustrating. And even if you look at things, like, I don't care what kind of leader you are, but no matter what, like, it ain't it to be the leader of a team and have a burner account, okay? Like, the first round of the finals last year, or first round last season of the playoffs, I should say, against the Celtics, he had 4 more turnovers in every game. And, like, tell me that is not what you should be doing in the postseason when the Nets are trying to go on a run. Like, I just need a little bit more from him, and it's getting frustrating. And the blurps that I hear come out of press conferences, like, that ain't it. That's not it, and it's frustrating now for a team that isn't winning, and you have Kevin Durant on your roster.
See, I don't have a problem with KD like everybody else has, because everyone piles on about the burner accounts. And Kevin Durant is just the one guy in the NBA who's been honest about the burner accounts. There is no part of me that believes a lot of these other superstars even don't have a burner account or two out there, because I have seen even the LeBron Jameses of the world, who are normally pretty isolated from criticism, particularly when it talks to his leadership. And I'm not saying LeBron's not a leader, but I am saying LeBron is a subtweeter. And we've seen LeBron take it to Twitter and express his views. We just saw LeBron do it about Kyrie. These guys don't keep anything internal. That's not how this generation of the NBA works. So all of these guys do it. We just pile on KD for doing it, and doing it so transparently with the amount of talent that he has as a basketball player. I also think with KD, we have this unrealistic expectation of everybody thinking that because Kevin Durant is so good at basketball, which by the way is in fact what his job is, and is in fact what he has spent his life training for, that he also has to be like a CEO of a Fortune 500 company. Yes, there are guys who are built for it, and there are guys who are phenomenal at it and will be the leader on a team. And then there's guys who aren't so good at it, because that's just how it works in the real world. There are people at every company who are wildly talented in their individual roles and couldn't take over and run the company. Those are different skill sets. And Kevin Durant appears to maybe not have the latter skill set. Who cares? He's phenomenal at basketball. That is on the organization to me, not to put Kevin Durant in a position where he necessarily has to be the leader. Don't bring in a first-time head coach in Steve Nash if you're coaching players like a Kevin Durant, who maybe needs somebody else to take the leadership, and like a Kyrie with the difficulties that presents, or even a James Harden a little bit later on with the difficulties that presents. That's a leadership failure to me. You have to make sure that, like you said, you have the veteran on the team that can slide into that leadership role, even if they're not the best player on the team, because the leader on the team doesn't necessarily have to be the best player on the team. And you have to have a strong head coach and a strong coaching staff in place in order to provide that leadership and that direction of the organization that's so desperately needed. I don't think all of that needs to be, frankly, on Kevin Durant. I think that we make too much of that. So I don't have a problem with Kevin Durant and some of his antics. I think that we tend to pile on with Kevin Durant. All of that being said, I don't believe that any of Kevin Durant's desires to leave Brooklyn have suddenly gone away, like he pretended that they did when we entered this season after that conversation with Joe Tsai. And I'm guessing that this is all part of that as well, Shay.
Okay, I just want to, I don't disagree with anything that you say, but then if that's the case, Kevin, if you're not going to be if you're not going to be
first name basis,
yeah, exactly. If you're not going to be the leader of the team, then you shouldn't have say in who's in and who's out and what the Nets are doing then. Sorry.
Well,
okay.
Maybe say over yourself, I suppose. Jay Williams also brought this up on Keyshawn, Jay Will, and Max earlier about KD wanting out.
Everybody wants KD to be Tom Brady or LeBron James. And at the end of the day, KD is that dude that will wear his hoop shorts underneath his pair of jeans. Like, he just wants to hoop. He wants to be surrounded by people who want to hoop. And I truly feel like we're getting to this point where I'm not sure Kevin Durant still wants to even be there. I mean, he requested a trade before, that ultimatum with Joe Tsai about Sean Marks and Steve Nash. There's still questions around for KD. For me, yesterday, hearing that was like, oh, KD wants to be out.
Yeah.
Like, what's so wrong with him wanting to hoop? He's not the coach. He's not the GM. Like,
no,
what
but
matters if he just
then,
wants to hoop?
you don't have the authority to say, go get this guy for me. I don't want this guy as the head coach. I need this. You don't get to be that dude. You can't have it both ways. Then just go hoop. Then that's all you need to do. But you can't be then the face of the franchise who dictates every move we make and also the hooper. Then, sorry, that's not how it's going to work. So everything you're saying is right. And Jay Will knows Kevin Durant on a personal basis. He obviously understands the situation at hand far better than I do. But, like, that's okay. But then you can't have it both ways. That's not how this is going to work. Like, Tom Brady, I want to bring Gronk back. Okay, fine. Well, Tom Brady was the leader of that team and dictated the way their entire season went. Tom Brady was okay with Todd Bowles taking over his head. Like, things went through him because he was the leader. You can't be both, Kevin. That's not how it's going to work.
Yeah, but Tom Brady is good at that leadership role. That's certainly what he's born to play, other than just his role as a quarterback. We'll see. Maybe Kevin Durant will end up somewhere where he can just hoop. Of course, he doesn't control that. Coming up next, a travel nightmare that you need to hear about. This is Canty and Carlin on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Yo, coming up on Friday, what should we expect from the Nets when Kyrie Irving returns to the court? Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, Friday, 6 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, ESPNU. You don't want to miss what I have to say.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/joy. At Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/joy. That's 4hims.com/joy for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/JOY.
Big Bad Night, Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
What do you mean, I get the whole store?
I'm Dennis Regan, chairman of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. And when we promise you the whole store, we mean all we do is appliances. We offer a showroom full of the top appliance brands, complete with our free 10-year protection plan.
Who does your warranty work? Some outfit with a 1-800 number?
No way! Our service and installation technicians are employed and factory trained by us. And our protection plan means you pay nothing for covered repairs.
So, I get a free 10-year protection plan, a guaranteed best deal, a hometown service department, and a showroom full of name brand appliances? Wow!
Hey lady, that's my line. All we do is appliances, and we do them better than anyone else. Wow!
Big Bad Night, Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
Thinking of selling your home? Today's market is crazy, but one way you can be sure to stand out is by replacing your old flooring with new hardwood. And the best place to do it is Carpet Weavers in Champaign. Carpet Weavers boast the industry's best brands, including Shaw, Mohawk, Paramount, and more. When it comes to natural beauty and a rich quality, nothing beats new flooring from Carpet Weavers. And they have financing options for your budget, so you can always afford the floor you truly want. Increase the value of your home by installing new, high-quality options from Carpet Weavers. Find out more online at carpetweaversflooring.com.
Hi, I'm Troy Lands, owner of Lands Inc. Is your plumbing system showing signs of cracks, sewer water infiltrating the basement wall? How about the things you can't see, like your underground drain and sewer pipes? A Lands sewer camera inspection and exclusive pipelining process can restore old pipes to like new quality with very little intrusion of your yard, and most projects can be completed in a day. Once installed, this will give you peace of mind that your underground drain and sewer pipes will be protected from root and water infiltration and increase the structural integrity with a one-piece liner. Visit landsinc.com to learn more. I'm Troy Lands, and you can count on my company because you can count on me.
Hey, this is Ben Grice at the Humble Hog in downtown Paxton. And if you haven't been up to Paxton for our barbecue yet, let me tell you, you don't need a reservation. Just come on up. Barbecue with us is about as casual can get. We've got all your favorites. We're talking brisket, pork, amazing smoked turkey, our sausage. And while you're there, be sure to try the Paxton Punch. You can thank me on that later. Check us out online at humblehogbbq.com.
ILLINI. Cheer on the Illini at Pia's. The pregame fun starts at Pia's Sports Bar and Grill. Pia serves up its famous 10-ounce Slugger Burger along with great wings and so much more. Enjoy 350 22-ounce light and course light drafts every home and away Illini game. Watch the game at Pia's. You'll find it all at Pia's with live video gaming, sports, food, drinks, and fun. See you at Pia's, West Springfield Avenue in Champaign.
Hi, it's Stevie J. Start your day with me along with Diane Ducey, weekday morning 7 to 9 here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
6 feet. 3 to 6 feet in Buffalo, including possible thunder snow.
Well, you know, Mean Gene, we're going to go in that cage when I pick him up above my shoulders in front of 78,000 in front of the Pontiac Silverdome, and I host him up, brother. I'm going to have all my Hawkamaniacs getting that big, mean old giant over my shoulders, and I'm going to raise them all the way to the top, and I'm going to press them, and I'm going to drive them to the ground, brother, and then I'm going to run to those ropes, and I'm going to hit them with these 44-inch thighs as I come over that neck, and I pin them for the 1, 2, 3, brother. What you gonna do when Hawkamania and the Thunder Snow Sticks run wild?
Thunder Snow Sticks.
Bart and Hahn, weekdays at noon Eastern on ESPN Radio. Plus, you can listen and watch on the ESPN app.
So we have Bills-Browns on Sunday. They're expecting as much as 3 to 6 feet of snow, as if the Bills needed anything else to deal with.
Snow! We've got ourselves a classic nor'easter meeting a classic sou'wester.
That's how much snow they're expecting up in Buffalo. This is going to be an ugly football game.
Overnight, expect rain, turn into freezing rain, turn into sleet, turn into snow, and then melting in the summer.
Amber Wilson and Shay Cornett filling in for the guys here on Canty and Carlin. So big news in that game that you just heard. That was supposed to be the crazy game with 6 feet of snow because of that lake effect snow in Buffalo. However, the Bills aren't going to have to deal with that, and the Browns aren't going to have to deal with that because now that game has been moved to Detroit. This has created, though, an interesting travel nightmare, Shay. Funny to the rest of us, certainly not funny for the broadcasters involved in this. But Andrew Catalan from CBS Sports, who is covering the game with James Lofton, he just shared a story on Sirius XM's Mad Dog Sports Radio that is quite funny about the difficulties that this has created now for the broadcast team. Take a listen to Catalan.
Lofton, your buddy, and Amanda Renner, who's on our golf crew and does a fantastic job. She's the sideline reporter for this game. They live in San Diego. They left San Diego this morning, had to connect in Detroit to fly to Buffalo. So they are on a flight right now from Detroit to Buffalo, and as soon as they land, they're going to turn their phone on and see they got to get in a car and drive back to Detroit.
Oh, my God! I love it! Yes, sir!
That is the most Mad Dog reaction ever.
I
wow. Just Chris Russo, such a classic. But the funny thing about this is apparently this game gets changed to Detroit after they had already boarded their flight to fly to Buffalo. So there was nothing they could do about it. They couldn't just get off the plane at their layover. So now there's no other flights. They apparently have to rent a car and drive the car from Buffalo back to Detroit, which Google tells me is approximately a 4-hour drive.
Which is not that big of a deal. Like, yes, this is a pain in the butt, obviously, but it's actually a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. Anyone who covers sports or travels a lot for work in general, like, this happens all the time, like these travel mishaps. It's just ironic that the connection was obviously through Detroit, and then they have to turn around and go the other way. Look, I'm sad I'm not going to get the snow game that I wanted to see between these two teams or any team playing in Buffalo in November this time of the year, but obviously this is out of an abundance of caution. You don't need people traveling in, and you caution towards the players and the staffs and fans and all of the things. And the ironic part about this, Amber, as we were talking about last hour, is the fact that Detroit is now going to be home to Buffalo 2 weeks in a row. This week against the Browns, and then the following week they play on Thanksgiving Day on a short week against the Detroit Lions. I don't know exactly what their plan is in terms of going in and out and with the weather and all of these things, but nonetheless, like, that home field advantage for Detroit kind of goes out the window because there's going to be such familiarity, obviously, on the Buffalo sides of things. And then I also want to bring this up because I follow this. It's Robert Lemko on Twitter. And he posted about how this had happened. I'd forgotten exactly 8 years ago with Buffalo, and they were playing the Jets. They went and played them in Detroit because of the weather situation. And essentially the players were so bored because of all the snow. Some of them didn't shovel. They were basically essentially stuck wherever they were. And all they did was watch film. And they ended up beating the Jets 38-3 because they were so locked in on their film studies. So there was no distraction really because there was nowhere to go. And so it's interesting that this happens now 8 years later and a different opponent, obviously, in the Browns instead of the Jets. But nonetheless, this actually could work in the Bills' favor for not only this week, but next week as well.
Well, and they won't be dealing with the elements, we know. And so that's certainly going to matter for a team that earlier in the show, before this news broke, Shay, we were saying, is this Bills team even really built for their own elements? Which is weird to think because it's a team that plays in Buffalo, New York. And you would think that that is a huge advantage in terms of a home field advantage. You're used to playing in these pretty horrendous elements. However, the way that team is letting Josh Allen use his arm as much as he is, not relying on the run, have the ball so much in Josh Allen's hands, like, is it even built for this weather? Well, now they don't have to grapple with any of that because they're not going to be dealing with any elements, and they're facing a Browns team that it leaves a lot to be desired. Deshaun Watson has returned to practice for Cleveland, but he's not eligible to play until week 13. He was eligible to start practicing. He was in full pads, full participant in practice as of this week in week 11. I have a hard time believing on a neutral field now without any elements involved that, frankly, this isn't advantage Buffalo.
Yeah, the run game is an issue, though, for Buffalo. I don't care where you're playing, in a dome, outside, in the snow, in the sun. It doesn't matter. Like, they need to figure this out because it doesn't really matter what situation it is. Beginning of the game, end of the game, behind, it doesn't matter. They don't like to run the ball. Last week, I do game day on ESPN Radio from 1 to 5 Eastern on Sundays. And so I was paying very close attention, obviously, to the Vikings and the Bills game. And in the first, I thought to myself, the first half of the game, they ran the ball pretty well against the Vikings. Why did they abandon in the second half? And obviously it resulted in a loss. And then I actually looked at the numbers and I'm like, yeah, that happened. In the first half, they had a 40% rush rate. Running backs were averaging over 4 yards a carry. And then in the second half in overtime against the Vikings, they abandoned it and they went to under a 20% rush rate, and running backs were averaging around 3 yards or under per carry. Like, why do they do this when they've got speedsters like Devin Singletary there on their roster? I don't understand. It's like they need Josh Allen to run it, or they don't like to do it. And I don't quite get that with Buffalo.
Well, this certainly will be helpful, though, that they're not in all of that snow, because otherwise they would have been forced to rely more, presumably, on that run game. We had Tyler Fulgham on earlier in the show with us. If you ever miss any part of the show, you can always check out the podcast on the ESPN app. And Tyler said that the line hasn't really changed since moving the game, because Buffalo was always favored in this one and certainly is expected to win in any environment. But the over-under has changed dramatically, because overall there should be a lot more scoring in this game when you don't have to deal with 6 feet of snow. So that's interesting from the betting perspective. If you put in your bets before the game moved, most sports books will give it back to you.
Everyone can boost their digital confidence with NordVPN. All it takes is one simple click. NordVPN will block online trackers, hide your virtual location, and secure your devices from malware-infected files during downloads. It will also detect malicious websites. So catch the Black Friday deal for a 1 or 2 year plan at NordVPN.com and get 3 months for free. NordVPN, cybersecurity built for every day.
Thank you for calling Navy Federal Credit Union. How can I help you?
Hi, if I'm in the Army, not in the Navy, am I still eligible for membership?
Yes, you are.
What about my sister in the Air Force?
Her too.
And my dad's a Marine.
We serve all branches of the military, veterans, and their families.
My dog is a retired military working dog.
I'll see what I can do.
Find out if you're eligible at NavyFederal.org. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Insured by NCUA.
UC Bank, leading the way to your financial wellness. No matter where your financial journey begins, Pathways banking options at Busey are designed with your goals in mind. UC Bank, building strong financial futures, one family, one street, one city at a time. Proud to be the official bank of the Fighting Illini. Member FDIC.
Carl works every day to improve the health of community members across the region, and it would not be possible without team members like Dwayne Linton, a nationally certified nurse in the emergency department at Carl Foundation Hospital.
I work with a team of people who really care about what they do and are very flexible and adaptive in rapidly changing critical situations, and I would trust any of them at any time.
If you're looking for an opportunity to serve your community like Dwayne in a supportive environment, visit carl.org/careers.
It's a totally Christmas winter wonderland at Prairie Gardens. Ornaments, decor, wreaths, garlands, and so much more, all ready now, along with brand new savings. This week, save 50% off all Christmas bushes. Select large Christmas candle jars are $6.97. All furniture, save 10%. Plus, find your perfect artificial Christmas tree with the largest selection around and very best tree guarantee at Prairie Gardens, your Christmas destination for over 50 years.
At Carpet Weavers Flooring and Furniture Gallery, we're flooring people with amazing service, great design advice, and unbeatable selection and the best prices in town. It's the perfect time to update your home with waterproof flooring, carpet, hardwood, tile, and more. Then complete your rooms by shopping our incredible selection of furniture and accessories. We also offer great financing options. Carpet Weavers Flooring and Furniture Gallery, we're flooring people.
Have you been to Pards in Urbana? Well, you need to go to Pards in Urbana. Here's what people are saying. Great customer service, friendly staff. They treat you like family. I love Pards. I was very impressed. Great service, very neat store. I was greeted and asked if they could help me. That's why you should go. Check them out. It's Pards in Urbana. They're between University and Maine. It's on Maple. Pards in Urbana, or visit pards.com. Pards.com.
Merle Norman Style Refresh Pop-Up will be held on Thursday, November 17th from 5 to 7 p.m. at 706 West Market View Drive in Champaign. Come by to try the newest colors in Merle Norman makeup and Cobby fashions and see how they can complement your complexion and figure. We'll share the latest tips and trends to give you a style refresh going into the holiday season.
Check out this fun girls' night out and rock some hot new looks. So grab your friends and get ready for an evening of fun at Merle Norman, 706 West Markview Drive, over by Subway.
But do what we know that Kevin Durant...
be doing?
Thank you for calling Navy Federal Credit Union. How can I help you?
Hi, if I'm in the Army, not in the Navy, am I still eligible for membership?
Yes, you are.
What about my sister in the Air Force?
Her too.
And my dad's a Marine.
We serve all branches of the military, veterans, and their families.
My dog is a retired military working dog.
I'll see what I can do.
Find out if you're eligible at NavyFederal.org. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Insured by NCUA.
Okay, can I have everybody's attention for just a second?
Morgan's media planning firm just landed a multi-million-dollar client.
Because we won the pitch.
She needs to staff up before trafficking hits a traffic jam.
So we're going to need research, planning, buying, obviously, and probably data analytics.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Sunday's Browns-Bills game has officially been moved by the NFL to Detroit at 1 Eastern due to the forecast of heavy snow in Buffalo this weekend. NFL Week 11 does start tonight when the Packers host the Titans. The last time the teams met, Green Bay won by 26 at Lambeau Field 2 years ago. Don't expect another blowout tonight, believes Titans radio network analyst and four-time Pro Bowler Lane Bishop.
I think that's really what's going to happen in this game. I think whatever quarterback, and you got to lean towards Aaron Rodgers being with his resume, can make more plays, are going to win this game. Naturally, both teams are going to try to run the football. That travels well, even in bad weather, but I think this is going to be a close one. It's going to come down to the wire.
Lane Bishop on Barton Hahn. Eagles have responded to the struggles of their run D in the absence of injured rookie Jordan Davis. Philadelphia signed defensive tackle Ndamukong Suh to a one-year deal. He's the second defensive tackle Philly has signed in back-to-back days. NBA Clipper star Kawhi Leonard could return from a knee issue tonight against the Pistons. He has been upgraded to questionable for the game.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career you'll love with flexibility, great pay, and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces? Come join their growing team. Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today.
If you having take problems, I feel bad for you, son. I got 99 problems, but Chris ain't one. Hit me.
Now, from the ESPN studios in New York City, this is Canty and Carlin on ESPN Radio.
Shea Cornett and Amber Wilson filling in for Canty and Carlin here on Canty and Carlin on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, Sirius XM Channel 80, and on your smart speakers. We got Week 11 in the NFL starting tonight between the Titans and the Packers. We are presented by Progressive Insurance, and we're lucky enough to be joined by Teron Davenport, our ESPN NFL Nation Titans reporter right now. So let's focus in on the Titans side of things, obviously, as they travel to Green Bay again to take on the Packers this evening on Thursday Night Football. So, look, Ryan Tannehill was out for 2 straight games, and in those 2 games, they didn't pass for more than 50 yards. He comes back, obviously, and the Titans are feeling good about things. How are they feeling with Ryan Tannehill here going forward, and how much success they can have with him under center?
Oh, they're feeling really good with Ryan Tannehill, and he's the guy that, helped them get to the 2019 AFC Championship game. So they believe in him, and really the way that they approach it is to have him make 1 or 2 plays, not turn the football over, and they feel like that's their formula, running the ball well and having a strong defense.
Yeah, because, Teron, we know, of course, this offense doesn't run through Ryan Tannehill. It runs through Derrick Henry. And we know we're going to get a heavy dose of Derrick Henry against this Packers team. There's always a heavy dose of Derrick Henry this season, and yet nobody can stop it. This Packers run defense leaves a lot to be desired. What do you make of this matchup?
Yeah, I think it's a perfect matchup on a perfect night for what the Titans want to do. It's cold, and these elements, you know what happens as the game goes on. Tackling a battering ram like Derrick Henry in the fourth quarter is a lot more difficult to do than it is in the first quarter, and it just continues to wear teams down. I think it's a perfect matchup, and I actually talked to Derrick Henry about the doubters, right, the preseason doubters, and he said that, he still gets motivated by people who doubted him in high school. So
rest assured, with this being prime time, he's going to look to show that he is, that guy.
Katie and Carlin on ESPN Radio talking to Teron Davenport right now, our ESPN NFL Nation Titans reporter. I want to focus in on Treylon Burks for a minute. He was obviously activated in the win against the Broncos a week ago, the first-round pick for the Tennessee Titans. But in terms of not relying solely on Derrick Henry, do you anticipate him maybe getting a few more receiving yards this week? Last week he had only 3 receptions for 24 yards.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good opportunity to get some receiving yards for him. And one of the things you have to look at is how they work the play action. They have a package where, they play action to get the linebackers to step forward, and they got what's called a bang route going right behind them. It's just like a shallow crossing route. And that's the way that they get the ball in his hands, and he can make something happen. Then if you look at last week's game or Sunday's game, they did a good job game planning. Right before the flea flicker, they had Burks. He lined up, and he was on the left side. He was number 1 on the left, and he motioned across to the right, and he was the furthest outside receiver. And then you had Robert Woods as the second one. He ran a clear out, and Shaker Conklin was the furthest in, and he ran a crossing route. And that opened things up for him to catch the ball right across the middle, catch and run, 15-yard gain. So they're definitely scheming to get him the rock, and, that's something that they're going to have to do because he's, frankly, their most talented receiver.
The Titans are coming off of a win against the Broncos on Sunday. Do you see this short week for the Titans as an advantage or a disadvantage coming into this game?
Yeah, I don't think it's either, to be honest with you. This team, they love bad situations. And it's just something where, Mike Vrabel, he calls them street rats. And, a street rat wants to be in the worst situation, and they find ways to survive in it. I think that's how this team is. They're built to be able to, go on the road and win a game like this. It's just a pack and play type of team. You run the ball the way they do, and then you defend and run the way that they do. It's efficient to, take a crowd out of a stadium.
Teron, thanks for the time. We really appreciate it, buddy. Enjoy the game tonight between the Titans and the Packers. It should be a good one from Lambeau.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you ladies having me on.
See you later. That's Teron Davenport, our ESPN NFL Nation Titans reporter, obviously getting us set for tonight's game. Packers and Titans. It should be a good one. And I had to ask him about the situation with their first-round wide receiver because he was absent during the offseason, and then he was hurt, and then he finally came back, and he didn't have a lot of touches. And he's right. He could be their best wide receiver, their best option if he could actually get going and give Ryan Tannehill and that offense some help. But nonetheless, this should be a good one tonight between the Titans and the Packers. And the Packers are obviously looking to have a little bit more consistency, Amber. But I guess maybe this opens up a little bit more in terms of the AFC picture and what the Titans actually are. Last year, they were the number 1 overall seed in that entire conference. This year now, obviously, you're dealing with the likes of the Kansas City Chiefs, and you can go on down the list. But where do you think the Titans fit in this conversation in terms of number 1 overall seeds or being, at the top of the list for teams that are the creme de la creme in the AFC?
I mean, I feel like it's more of the same from the Titans, right? Where you're talking about a team that, they're going to win their division because look who else is in their division. And obviously the Colts are wildly disappointing. And the Jags and the Texans, it's not even worth a conversation. The rest of that division, they're going to win their division. And they could even end up with the 1 seed again. And then is it going to be the same story that we saw last season where they get into the postseason and then you're not getting that magic from a team that each and every year is in the conversation as a Super Bowl contender? They should be that. And Derrick Henry, it has shocked me, Shay, how good Derrick Henry is this season. That position, I just never feel like it can bounce back. And coming off of the injuries, and it has bounced back in both, by the way, New York and in Tennessee. But with Derrick Henry, that's really where the bread is buttered there for the Titans. If the offense can continue to run through him, and then you heard Teron say it right there, there's only so much they even ever ask Ryan Tannehill to do. That's why Tannehill is so much better in Tennessee than he ever was all those years I was watching him in Miami, because He's just not the quarterback that you can ask to do too much. But if you have the right pieces around him, he's a very capable game managing type quarterback and a very capable play action type quarterback. And that's exactly what they've gotten from him in Tennessee. It didn't go well last season when that Titans team was injured. It doesn't go well when he doesn't have Derrick Henry available to him in the backfield. And yes, I thought he was going to miss Brown even more than he does. And like you said, maybe the piece there with bringing in another receiver, having another receiver now available will help him in terms of weapons, but it's not about Ryan Tannehill, frankly. It's just kind of about Ryan Tannehill not messing it up. Although that's a question mark. Let's be real, Shay, as we head into a postseason where, again, I think you're going to have a Titans team walk into the postseason because of where they are. I'm just not sure I believe they're going to be able to get it done once again.
Derrick Henry is second in the league in rushing. And whenever you have King Henry on your team, I believe in you. I just don't see them as being like this dominant force. Obviously, they lost in the first round last year for a reason. I think Ryan Tannehill's a capable quarterback. I think we've seen that. But he doesn't have, you're right, a lot of weapons around him in terms of guys that he could throw it to. And as if he doesn't turn the ball over, like, they could be a good team. They're never going to be a team that just, you know, takes plays off. Or does, like, they're always going to be kind of that gritty football team. But I just don't see them, you know, being in the upper echelon of the AFC, especially with all the talent that is around that conference and that, and even, that entire conference this upcoming season. So we'll see. Tonight we'll learn a lot, obviously. Titans and Packers, it kicks off week 11 in the NFL. Can't wait for Thursday Night Football. Titans and Packers in Green Bay is the hot ticket, brought to you by Vivid Seats, where you earn rewards with every single purchase. Vivid Seats Rewards is your ticket to more tickets. Vivid Seats, life happens live. The quarterback who's holding his team back the most fires back at his critics. Would that be me or Amber? I don't know, but that's after Amber has this word from Indeed.
Hiring is personal, but you don't have to do it alone. Indeed's hiring solution makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates from one place. The moment you post a sponsored job, you'll get instantly matched with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed meet your job description. And you will only pay for applications that meet your job's must-have requirements. Flag those that don't. They'll be replaced for free with another candidate on Indeed. Make the hiring process work for you. Log in and get started today at Indeed.com/credit.
Yo, it's Jay Williams from Keyshawn, J. Will and Max. They told us we can give you guys anything we wanted. So we're giving away free cash.
Wanna talk about money?
We're giving away $10K a day. And all you have to do is listen to us for a chance to win.
Your chance to win. Weekday mornings with Keyshawn, J. Will and Max. Starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN2.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-687-5192.
Crossroads Contractor Supply, bringing us our Stevie J Broadcasting Law Enforcement Official of the Month.
Corey's the supervisor, says Corey is so mature, it's like having another supervisor as a helper. So you are well thought of at Urbana Police. Why did you make the move?
You know, the sheriff's office is, you'd be down here in Philo, and then you get a call, all the way up in Fisher.
A lot of driving around.
It's really spread out. I like Urbana's big enough that there's a lot that goes on. It keeps you busy, but it only takes a minute or two to get to every call, and that's one of the main reasons. And then, like I said, when I worked in the jail, I really like the officers that come in for the Urbana Police Department. It seems like a tight-knit group. Speaking to the community, people are coming around to want to talk to the police and not be so negative about some of the things, the actions of a few or, a couple news articles that you see really shed a bad light on police in some people's eyes, and I think it's getting better.
Crossroads Contractor Supply, delivering within a 150-mile radius of Champaign-Urbana, supporting our Law Enforcement Official of the Month.
Hi, y'all. Welcome
Welcome back to Trucker Lives Matter, presented by Gail Fredericks Trucking. Today we have a special guest, Donna, the operations manager at GFT. Hi, Donna.
Hi, Dixie. Thank you for having me.
Tell me, Donna, what's so special about driving for GFT?
First and foremost, our drivers truly matter. They get top pay plus opportunities for monthly bonuses, every weekend at home, paid holidays and vacations, and they are pre-dispatched so they aren't wasting time waiting on us.
Oh, girl, I love money. Tell me more about the pay.
We pay on percentage, so our rate increases have meant our driver pay has actually exceeded inflation. Our van drivers have averaged 78 cents per mile this year, and our flatbedders have seen 82 to 85 cents per mile on average.
Donna, tell our trucking audience how they can get on with GFT.
Our openings are limited, but professional drivers can call 765-793-7131 or email dixie@gftlog.com.
There you have it, drivers. Call 765-793-7131 today.
PDR Automotive in Urbana is a locally owned repair shop, and they've now serviced over 250,000 vehicles in their near 50-year history. Now, that's more than 4 times the size of a sold-out Memorial Stadium. It's more than all Division I athletes in the country combined. That's more than the entire population of Champaign County. That's more than, well, you get the idea. When you turn the key and the car won't run, call 367-9481. They are what's best for your truck or car. They are PDR.
These days, you don't mind staying up a little late or waiting in line. These days, button-downs turn into t-shirts, and dinner consists of popcorn and a pretzel. These days are about singing and yelling and jumping. These days are game days. Game Day Spirit, where Fighting Illini fans shop.
Hi, it's Stevie J. Sit back and relax and take the drive with Lon Tay and Derek Piper. Weekdays 4 to 6 right here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-326-7765 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-326-7765. That's 800-326-7765. What do you have to lose? Call 800-326-7765. Again, 800-326-7765.
You know, the Jets are interesting because, yes, they're much improved. Their defense is good. But what is it about them that's kind of holding them back? Could it just simply be the quarterback? Canty and Carlin on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, Sirius XM Channel 80, and on your smart speaker. Shay Cornett, Amber Wilson, filling in for the guys here. We are presented by Progressive Insurance. And you can call us on the Dr. Pepper call line, 888-SAY-ESPN. It's 888-729-3776. Speaking of that, Amber and I put these like negative lists together, but ones that I think make everyone think a little bit. Of teams that are in the conversation for playoff contention, Super Bowl teams, whatever you want to call them, good teams that have quarterbacks that could potentially be holding them back. So what playoff caliber teams have a quarterback under center that's holding them back? We go 5-1. Amber, you go first. Who you got?
So I looked at this as who could hold them back, not who's holding them back currently, because obviously any team that's now a Super Bowl contender isn't being held back per se, but any team that could be held back that's a viable Super Bowl contender when we're talking about a postseason. So my list started at number 5 with Zach Wilson. We both agreed on that one. Number 4 with Daniel Jones. I mean, Daniel Jones obviously having a very good season, but a shocking season. Number 3 was Ryan Tannehill for me. I always have a hard time trusting Ryan Tannehill at the biggest moments on the biggest stages. Number 2 is Geno Smith. Geno's having a remarkable season for the Seahawks. And it's not what he's done so far. It's what he did in his entire NFL career before this that makes it hard to trust what I've seen so far in 11 weeks of this season. And Jalen Hurts is number one on this list, which obviously is shocking because we're talking about a quarterback in an MVP conversation. But again, if I'm looking at who could maybe hold a team back in the future, maybe I'm looking to the guy whose resume is very short in terms of what he's been doing this season. And there were question marks just a matter of months ago when it comes to Jalen Hurts' arm.
Okay, so Amber's looking at the past. She's bringing up old stuff. I'm going more future. I'm going right now, this season. I don't want to talk anything about what didn't happen within weeks 1 through 10 so far this season at 5, and that's why I'd go Aaron Rodgers. I'm sorry. Aaron Rodgers, I know what he did the last few years. I know how remarkable it can be. Trust me, I've seen it up close and personal as a Bears fan. I get all that. But maybe it was good for him to get out of his own way against the Green Bay Packers. Maybe it was good for him to rely more on the running game as opposed to just his arm. And so if he can continue to do that, take him off this list. But if not, we could be in big trouble. So at number 5, I have Rodgers. 4, I have Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill doesn't do good things when we need him to do them. He has yet to score a fourth quarter touchdown. Maybe that changes tonight against the Packers. I don't know. But I need to see more from Ryan Tannehill, especially on third down, to believe in him and to believe that he won't be the reason that this team is getting held back. At 3, I go Kirk Cousins. It's not a lazy narrative to say that it's a problem that he can't win in primetime. It's the facts, okay? The one loss on the resume was an embarrassing one against the Eagles in primetime. And so Kirk Cousins needs to overcome that. He's got way too many weapons at his disposal for there to be any excuses about the quarterback, and the turnovers I saw last week, disastrous. At number 2, Justin Herbert. I didn't even know Greeny said this, but I was going to say it anyways, and Evan, our producer, pointed it out to me. But these one-score games that the Chargers just continuously lose, and then we sit over here and we clap the hands for the quarterback is bewildering to me. I don't quite understand why we think Justin Herbert is like the next great thing when, yes, I understand there are injuries everywhere. Every team's dealing with injuries right now, okay? But he has yet to win a playoff game. He has yet to win a meaningful game in a close situation. In fact, any close game, he's at the bottom of the list in terms of quarterbacks that do good things in those situations. And so for me, Justin Herbert, I'm sorry, I think you're actually holding your team back, and maybe that's part of coaching too. And at number 1 is Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson and the Jets. Zach Wilson is making similar mistakes over and over again, and it's a problem. And I think our resident Jets fans would say if anyone else was quarterbacking that team, we'd be speaking much more highly of the Jets right now. I understand he's young. I understand he has a lot of room to grow. I think we're seeing that maturation right now with Daniel Jones. However, when you're in the New York market and the Jets have been as lousy as they have been in years past, you need to get better and you need to get better faster. You've been a little bit injury prone the last 2 years, and again with the turnovers, and instead of just throwing the ball away or helping yourself out, you actually throw it to the other team. Can't happen. And sorry, Zach Wilson, I think you're the problem. Speaking of Zach Wilson, the Jets quarterback, he was asked to recall his emotions from the last time he played the New England Patriots, who they're playing this weekend, and here's what he had to say.
I thought they were good emotions. I mean, I was frustrated, and, I still believe nobody outside of this building knows what they're talking about.
Oh, no one knows what they're talking about. Okay. Actually, maybe it's good to have tunnel vision, Amber. I don't know. That's fine if that's what he wants to think. This reminds me a lot of comments I used to hear from Mitch Trubisky sometimes, and they used to annoy me to no end. About he wanted to remember turning all the TVs off. I don't know if you remember that at Hallis Hall, and it was always something with no one knows what they're talking about and everyone's a moron. And it's okay, well, I don't know that that's necessarily the case. I think it's one thing
to end up being the case.
Exactly. I think it's one thing. I think it's a good thing to tune out the noise. 100%. You need to do that. You don't need all the noises in your ear all the time. But I think it's another to think everyone else is an idiot. There's a fine line between that.
Listen, if he says it again, or if we sort of see that attitude formulating from Zach Wilson over time, then maybe I'll start piling on him. I don't have a big problem with a 23-year-old quarterback in a vacuum saying, essentially, I'm only listening to the people inside this building, because that's probably exactly what you should do when you're such a young quarterback. I mean, Zach Wilson still has a lot of learning to do. You mentioned that terrible interception where he's trying to throw it away and doesn't get it all the way out of bounds. And he said, I'll never do that again. And you know what, Shay? He probably won't ever do that again, even though I don't know if Zach Wilson has the best decision making, because You do learn as you're going along. With Zach Wilson, I have no idea if he's going to develop into that guy. If you're a Jets fan, I don't really fully know how you're already out on him, but also there's no chance you could be in on him from what you've seen so far from him either. And I think what's happening with the Jets is that they're ahead of schedule. So it's leading to more criticism and more scrutiny of Zach Wilson than, frankly, he should have had to deal with this season, because the Jets are so much better than we thought they were going to be, because they've drafted well and they've built well. And I guess this coaching staff is better also than maybe we expected at this point already. And so it feels like, hey, this Jets team would be a viable contender if we trusted who's under center. And I don't even know if that's fully fair, because coming into this season, that was not the expectation surrounding this Jets team. We're like, hey, they're moving the right direction. They had a really good draft. We like the trajectory of things around this franchise, which is strange to say for the Jets. And let's allow them to grow. And in a couple years, they'll be a viable contender. But that's not what's happened here, Shay. And it's leading to more scrutiny of Zach Wilson that I don't know if it's fully fair for Zach Wilson, because also he's missed games, like you mentioned, the injuries also in his early young NFL career. I don't know if it's fully fair that he's kind of getting extra scrutinized now because of where they're sitting.
Yeah, and look, the Breece Hall situation and the Elijah Moore situation, like, these don't help a young quarterback, obviously, but I read this stat earlier that he's 26th on target rate when he's inside the pocket. So essentially, and what I'm saying is, like, when everything's going right for him, he's still not very good, and that's a problem. Like, what are we doing then? I just think that there have been so many times where he's given opportunities to be great and he just hasn't. And again, that could be youth and that could be still understanding the game. And remember, he missed a lot of football last year and this year with injury. And so he's still kind of getting up to speed. And again, an injury to one of your best players in Breece Hall, and then drama with Elijah Moore, which I don't even fully still understand. These are things I'm sure that don't help, but that's just part of being a quarterback in the National Football League. And I think he's got a lot to learn and little amount of time to do it, especially with the way that defense is playing right now. Canty and Carlin is presented by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career you'll love with flexibility, great pay and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces? Come join their growing team. Go to progressive.com/careers. Now, you can react to our list if you want. I'll give you the phone number again. It's 888-SAY-ESPN. 888-729-3776. Top 5 quarterbacks or a quarterback that you think perhaps is holding their team back. They could be great. They could go to the postseason. They might even be Super Bowl contenders, but maybe the person under center is what's holding them back. Plus, we're going to give you the props you need to cash in tonight as Week 11 begins in the NFL. It's Canty and Carlin on ESPN Radio.
Waking up with Key, Jay, and Max.
Mac Jones hasn't played well this season, and Belichick is trying to get to the playoffs and be a part of the playoffs this year. And Mac Jones, I'm not one of those guys that you're going to package him up and sell him to.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. It all starts weekday mornings at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
With other lenders, it can feel like they're calling the wrong plays. Not Cross Country Mortgage. They're the masterminds behind perfect play calling. Go with them and your home loan experience will end in a victory parade in your new neighborhood. You're the perfect free agent to sign with the best loan originators in the game. And Cross Country Mortgage is dedicated to getting it done. Reach out today at ccm.com. That's ccm.com.
Equal housing opportunity. All loans subject to underwriting approval. Cross Country Mortgage LLC. NMLS 3029. NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Get in the zone. AutoZone. Welcome to AutoZone. Thinking about gas mileage? If your check engine light is on, it may be affecting your MPGs, but the free AutoZone Fix Finder service can help. With the most complete free warning light report backed by technician-verified fixes, you'll know what's affecting your gas mileage and more, and you don't have to drive too far to find the fix. The free AutoZone Fix Finder service is available at all 6,200 stores. Get in the zone. AutoZone. See details at AutoZone.com.
Hi, y'all. Welcome back to Trucker Lives Matter, presented by Gail Fredericks Trucking. Today, we have a special guest, Donna, the operations manager at GFT. Hi, Donna.
Hi, Dixie. Thank you for having me.
Tell me, Donna, what's so special about driving for GFT?
First and foremost, our drivers truly matter. They get top pay plus opportunities for monthly bonuses, every weekend at home, paid holidays and vacations, and they are pre-dispatched so they aren't wasting time waiting on us.
Oh, girl, I love money. Tell me more about the pay.
We pay on percentage, so our rate increases have meant our driver pay has actually exceeded inflation. Our van drivers drivers have averaged 78 cents per mile this year, and our flatbedders have seen 82 to 85 cents per mile on average.
Donna, tell our trucking audience how they can get on with GFT.
Our openings are limited, but professional drivers can call 765-793-7131 or email dixie@gftlog.com.
There you have it, drivers. Call 765-793-7131 today.
A tradition of excellence over 150 years in the making. At Busey Bank, we're committed to building relationships that span generations. Wherever your journey in life leads you, we are with you along the way, creating a legacy for you and your family. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868, proud to be the official bank of the Fighting Illini. Member FDIC.
Want unbeatable prices on your next furniture purchase, but also seeking that local hometown feel? Look no further than Kelsey Furniture in Tuscola. Customers rave about their friendly, established staff, as well as their great selection, amazing prices, and second-to-none delivery service. They're a third-generation local business, and they've always got your best interests at heart. Find the look you love for less. Open 9 to 5 Monday through Saturday, but always available online at kelseyfurniture.com. That's kelseyfurniture.com.
If you want a steak, I mean a steak, prepared the way you want it, you've got to go to Long Branch Steakhouse. Hi, it's Jay Lehman. It's been over a year since I was introduced to Donnie at the Long Branch Steakhouse in Gifford. And when I want a great steak, that's where I go. And the sides, the Brussels sprouts, the mac and cheese, and the salad with Donnie's secret frog dressing. Long Branch Steakhouse in downtown Gifford. Open Wednesday through Saturday from 5 to 9 p.m. There's always room for the Long Branch Steakhouse.
Hi, this is Chris Jackson with Kramer Siding and Window. And whatever your project, you can count on Kramer Siding to offer you the best products backed by the best warranties in the business, as well as Central Illinois employees dedicated to providing you with professional installation and a lifetime of great customer service. And right now, you can save 10% on roofing, sunrooms, and decks, get 15% off gutter helmet, and you can save 25% on preservation siding, windows, and doors. So call today or visit us at kramersiding.com and let's get started on your project.
When you're buying a battery, it's important to look beyond just the price and make sure you're buying a quality battery. So when you're buying one from the big box store, make sure you ask the question, what's the date on this battery? Is it dependable? Sometimes the big box stores have batteries that have been sitting on the shelf for years. Or you can just come to Interstate Batteries, outrageously dependable, and buy your battery from the people who only do batteries. Interstate Batteries at 2504 North Madison, Champaign, way out there, but totally worth the drive. How much is dependable worth to you? Interstate Batteries open 6 days a week.
Hey, Illini fans, it's Mike Greenberg. Catch Lon, Tay, and Derek Piper weekdays from 4 to 6 right here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
She needs to staff up before trafficking hits a traffic jam.
So we're going to need research, planning, buying, obviously, and probably data analytics.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The NFL is moving the Bills-Browns game to Detroit on Sunday at 1 Eastern due to public safety concerns and an abundance of caution in light of heavy snow forecasts for Buffalo this weekend. Much like on Sunday in Dallas, the Packers face a must-win tonight against the Titans in order to have a shot at making the playoffs. Green Bay, for a second straight game, must lean on running backs Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon and a rookie receiver against AFC South-leading Tennessee, says ESPN's Dan Orlovsky.
Green Bay, are you capable of going 2 games in a row, of putting your Hall of Fame quarterback underneath the center and pounding the football with those 2 backs? And then Christian Watson, are you for real? He is so important to their offense. Are you for real, dude? Can you do it 2 games in a row?
Watson had 100 yards receiving and 3 touchdowns against the Cowboys. The Eagles defense welcoming defensive tackle Ndamukong Suh. He's agreed to a 1-year deal with Philly. He is the second veteran defensive tackle added by Philadelphia in as many days. The Eagles have struggled against the run in the absence of injured rookie Jordan Davis. NBA, Clippers could get back Kawhi Leonard tonight from a knee issue against the Pistons. He has been upgraded to questionable for that matchup.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive offers a great price and round-the-clock protection when bundling home and auto. It's one of those rare times where you could save money and get something great. Bundle today at Progressive.com.
Game day. What am I talking about? Canty and Carlin on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, Sirius XM channel. That just shows we go on too many shows. Amber
Wilson. Game day Sundays with Shay and Jordan Cornette.
The music, I think, is what got me there. Amber Wilson, Shay Cornette here, filling in for Canty and Carlin on ESPN Radio. We'll get the show right, I promise. Before the break, we were talking about quarterbacks that are currently quarterbacking teams that have the opportunity to go deep into the postseason, perhaps make a Super Bowl run, but maybe it's their quarterback that's actually holding them back. Who are those quarterbacks? Let's go to Chivago in North Carolina. Who do you think is a quarterback that perhaps is holding their team back? Chivago, what do you got?
Hey, I got one person, Dak Prescott. I mean, the throws that he makes in the clutch situations, I'm like, where are you throwing the ball to? Who are you throwing the ball to? I mean, it's the same thing every year. He's holding us back. I wish we had never signed him to that big contract. Now we're stuck with him.
Thank you, Chivago, for the call. And look, he's not alone. Like, Amber, this is a sentiment that I feel like a lot of Cowboys fans think. Stephen A. basically said this the other day. Like, perhaps it is a little bit on Dak Prescott. I know you and I were talking earlier, like, the defense and the run defense hasn't been great, obviously, for the Cowboys the last few weeks. Like, maybe let's point blame there. But at some point, when you're getting paid the big bucks to be the leader of a franchise and have a star on your helmet, you got to take some of the flack too.
Well, you take all the flack when you're the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. Some of it is fair, some of it is not, some of it is piling on because of who he's playing for. But that's what Dak signed up for, and that's why you get paid the big bucks if you're Dak. I just think with Dak, I thought we went through this earlier in the season, right, Shay? I thought we were all appreciating Dak now because we saw what it was like with Cooper Rush. And we realized, hey, it's actually not that easy. And then Dak comes in, and I thought we were all back to appreciating Dak Prescott. Yep. That lasted like a game. And now we're back to scrutinizing him because that's how it works if you're the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. There were issues here for Dak. I think there's some legitimate things like, is CeeDee Lamb a true number one? You know, I think that there's conversations we can have, not necessarily providing Dak excuses, but there are decisions that organization has made that I don't know if Dak is always put in the easiest position to truly have the success when we're talking about where the expectations are with that team, which the expectations with the Dallas Cowboys are always Super Bowl or bust, and yet they never get there and they never get it done. And so that's sort of the magnifying glass that Dak is operating under. But again, some of it's justified, some of it's just piling on at this point. I don't think Dak's the biggest problem there. The run defense actually concerns me because that defense I feel like should be better than it is.
Yeah, and you don't have a healthy Ezekiel Elliott. Like, there's a lot of factors here. Benjamin's in South Carolina. Benjamin, is there a quarterback that you think is under center for a team that has potential to go far in the postseason or go on a Super Bowl run? Maybe it's the quarterback that's holding him back. What do you think, Benjamin?
Hey, it's all about Lamar Jackson. We ride and die with him, and his last playoff, appearances, interceptions and turnovers. So that's really the only holdback to the Ravens is Lamar Jackson.
So, Shay, I'm going to jump in here because what's funny about this is that I actually had originally written down on my list when we were doing our top 5 list, I had Lamar Jackson at 5. And then I decided that the heat was going to be turned up on me too much, that everybody was going to go too crazy. Because, I mean, he's in the MVP conversation this season, even though I feel like the Ravens are frankly flying under the radar, but he's sitting at 5th or something in the MVP race right now. And Lamar Jackson, I think most people think, is an excellent quarterback. And typically, I think Lamar is pretty good as well. But I do agree with what Benjamin said there, where again, I kept looking at this list, who might hold them back in a postseason run. And I do think Lamar has been part of the problem in the past with that Ravens team, where we always have the expectations for that team and they should be great, and it doesn't always turn out that way. And I know last season there was all those injuries, even though again he was sloppy with the football last season, and there's been games this season that have left a lot to be desired in a contract year for Lamar Jackson.
Look, whenever there's a quarterback that is everything to your team, everything to your offense, the run game, the passing game, all of the above, like Josh Allen is to the Bills, like Lamar Jackson is to the Ravens, like Justin Fields is becoming to the Bears, there's going to be moments where you're like, well, if he's not good, he ruins everything. And I feel like that's probably the feeling with Ravens fans. Look, though, when you have shaky quarterback play year after year, like I have seen in Chicago, you have seen with the Dolphins too, like having that stability where you know at any point your quarterback could turn the entire game around is something to be said for. And yes, I know Lamar hasn't been great in the postseason, and I know he makes mistakes. Every quarterback does, but I do think there's a heavier weight when you're a do-it-all kind of QB, which is becoming trendier and trendier now in the National Football League. All right, let's go to Cody in Mass. Cody, what's going on?
Hey, so I honestly believe that Mac Jones is the problem with the Patriots right now, and I am so heartedly a diehard Patriots fan. Bailey Zappi needs to come in, do what he was doing, winning games, and our defense is just so good. Held the Lions to 0. The Lions are the Lions, but their offense scores about 30 points a game. So I really think that Mac Jones needs to sit it out, put Bailey Zappi in, and we can make a deep playoff run.
Are you really going to say your first-round draft pick is going to take a seat for Bailey Zappi? Look, I beat that drum for Bailey Zappi. I thought he was fantastic, and I thought that actually was a very good quarterback controversy that was going on in New England. But you don't allow Mac Jones to have any consistency if he doesn't stay under center, and you probably ruined his confidence a little bit. So I think this is a fair thing to say, Amber, and saying Mac Jones could be the reason the Patriots don't go as far as they'd like to go this year. But maybe this is like the same vein as Zach Wilson. Like, these guys are just young, and they need to figure it out faster, and they can't.
Well, I wouldn't have Mac Jones as part of this conversation because I don't think the Patriots are going anywhere near a Super Bowl, right? I don't consider them a contender at all. I mean, I'll have the conversation about the Jets before I'll have the conversation about the Patriots sitting at last in their division. But I understand when we're talking about Mac Jones and Bailey Zappi, what is funny to me, because I also had fun with that quarterback controversy. I miss it a little bit. Obviously, we're talking about a quarterback in Mac Jones, given he slid his way in there, but like, he went to a Pro Bowl his rookie season. Pats fans already want to give up on him. But what's also funny to me about that caller who is a Patriots fan is like, y'all don't trust Belichick already? Like, you don't trust Bill to make the right decision there? He's seeing these guys in practice every day. So we just don't have trust in our coach. We think he's going with the wrong quarterback right now because Bill doesn't want to win games? Like, what, if Bailey Zappi was really as good as we all think he was in the snippets that we saw him.
Yeah, that's a good point. Our producer, Evan, wants to jump in. Evan wants to jump in on the Lamar comment about him.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the conversation is basically if you replace the quarterback with another quarterback, they'd be a Super Bowl contender.
Correct.
The Ravens, if you took Lamar Jackson off their team, I'm not even sure we would think of them as a playoff team.
Right, that's fair.
Like,
that's
Lamar
fair.
Jackson is the only reason we think the Ravens are a playoff team. He's the only reason the Ravens are in first place in that division. He's the only reason the Ravens are probably going to win that division. Like, he's the best quarterback in the division. He is one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL. Like, I don't understand how you could say he's holding them back. Their defense is holding them back. If you watch the game, their lack of wide receivers is holding them back. Their lack of a running game outside of Lamar Jackson is holding them back. It's like everything else on that team is holding them back except for Lamar Jackson.
Idiotic statements. It's not idiotic because it can be both of those things, Evan, because you're absolutely right. That offense runs through Lamar. He does not have the weapons. He certainly does not have the running game. He is the running game for that team, and that defense should be much better than it is. I'll give you all that. I don't know if he's the best quarterback in his division. Joe Burrow might want to have a call, but anyways, the point being that with Lamar Jackson, though, it can be both. Like, he can be the reason that they would get to a Super Bowl and also be the reason that they would lose it. Or he can be the reason that they get to the postseason, because, by the way, we've seen this before, Evan, and also the reason that they can't stay in the postseason because he gets sloppy with the football. It can be both.
Yeah, Shay, I want you to repeat this out loud about Joe Burrow, okay? Repeat this out loud so everybody in your house can hear. The last time we saw Joe Burrow on the field, he was without Jamar Chase. He lost to Jacoby Brissett and was outplayed by Jacoby Brissett on Monday Night Football. So I just want you to say that out loud and see what the reaction might be.
Yeah, why do you want to start fights in my house? I don't really want to do that. That's not fun. But I do think the caller was alluding to the postseason because he was saying, like, he doesn't feel like Lamar can help them get over the hump in the postseason. But again, that's why I'm
like, see what it's like without him.
Which is the only reason I had Lamar on this list originally, too.
Yeah, but I agree with you. He does everything for that team. Okay, one Super Bowl winning quarterback that is having an even tougher time adjusting to his new team than we previously thought. We'll talk about it next. Canty and Carlin, Shea Cornett, Amber Wilson, filling in ESPN Radio.
Coming up Friday, which quarterback do you trust more to win a game? Dak Prescott or Kirk Cousins? Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Friday, 6 a.m. Eastern, ESPN Radio, ESPN2, ESPNU.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-285-2521. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-285-2521. 800-285-2521. 800-285-2521.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be signs that your digestive system isn't working at its best? But taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil supports your daily digestive health using a special plant-based fiber called psyllium. Psyllium works by forming a gel in your digestive system to trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Metamucil's gelling action also helps to promote heart health and slows down sugar absorption to promote healthy blood sugar levels. Start feeling lighter and more energetic by taking Metamucil every day.
Hi, this is Gina from ABC Heating and Air Conditioning. If you own a locally owned family business to help you always be comfortable, who have trained, talented, licensed, and experienced technicians, then call me to schedule an appointment. We'll check your furnace to make sure it'll keep you warm this winter. And just like our name, ABC, you will always be comfortable.
Call Gina today at 217-352-5400 or visit them online at abcheatingandac.com. That's abcheatingandac.com.
Hey, Illini fans, Jets Pizza is hiring both full and part-time team members. If you enjoy people and you're looking for a fast-paced, high-energy job, then Jets is the place for you. Need some extra cash? Starting pay is $12 an hour, and there's potential for promotion based on attitude and performance, and you'll get a good employee discount. The hardest part of the job is being around that amazing aroma of the homemade pizza sauce. Drive for Jets. Be a part of the Jets family today. Apply online at jetspizza.com. Jets Pizza, better because it has to be.
These days, you don't mind staying up a little late or waiting in line. These days, button-downs turn into t-shirts, and dinner consists of popcorn and a pretzel. These days are about singing and yelling and jumping. These days are game days. Game Day Spirit, where Fighting Illini fans shop.
When cold symptoms keep you up, try Vicks NyQuil Severe for max strength nighttime relief. Just one dose of Vicks NyQuil Severe starts to relieve 9 of your worst cold and flu symptoms to help take you from 9 to none. Get some rest and feel better with Vicks NyQuil Severe. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, sore throat, stuffy nose, fever, best sleep with a cold. Medicine. Use as directed.
Finding the right Medicare plan? Oof, no easy feat. Kind of like those dances my granddaughter loves making me do. But then I found Walgreens FindRx coverage. Lets you compare plans online, over the phone, or in person. Made Medicare shopping so easy. Plus, I found plans with low-cost copays. I can get down with that. Medicare annual enrollment ends December 7th. Find a plan that's right for you at walgreens.com/Medicare.
Hey, Illini fans, it's Georgia B at Stevie J Broadcasting, and you are listening to the amazing ESPN Radio 93.5.
realized this. Falcons could have had Fields. This is the Kyle Pitts draft.
Based on what we've seen from Arthur Smith so far, how much fun would Justin Fields have been instead of Marcus Mariota?
Woo! Like Marcus Mariota, like just turbocharged,
yes.
right? Oh my God. They would be averaging like 400 yards on the ground per game. It would be bananas.
Listen and subscribe to The Mina Kimes Show, featuring Lenny, wherever you listen to podcasts.
This Saturday on ESPN Radio, the Illinois Fighting Illini head to the Big House in Ann Arbor for a showdown with the third-ranked Michigan Wolverines.
This game isn't going to make us, but this game can definitely break us, man. The championship game for us, they're trying to ruin our season.
Illinois and number 3 Michigan, presented by Dr. Pepper. Coverage begins Saturday morning at 11:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ABC. You can also listen on the ESPN app and on your smart speaker. To earn some cash.
The taste of money, the smell of wealth.
It's Carlin's best play of the night.
The taste of money.
It's a primetime parlay.
That's right. Canty and Carlin on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, Sirius XM Channel 80, and in your smart speakers. Shay Cornett and Amber Wilson filling in for Canty and Carlin here on Canty and Carlin, and we are presented by Progressive Insurance. And Carlin has got his best play of the night, and it's a primetime parlay. Let's hear from Chris Carlin earlier today.
That's right, baby. Canty, you ready?
Let's do it.
We are on the Titans tonight. So we will go Titans on the money line. They're getting 3 points. Titans on the money line on Caesars Sportsbook plus 152. We're going to go Ryan Tannehill over 8.5 rushing yards.
Love it. Love that. Love that.
And finally, because we believe the Packers are going to be throwing it all over the place, Alan Lazard, total receptions over 4.5. So it's Lazard over 4.5 catches, money line Titans, Tannehill over 8.5 yards rushing. That little primetime parlay paying out at plus 900.
Ooh, no juice.
See you in a winner's circle.
Sometimes it's the worst. Sometimes it's the best. Either way, we'll get you straight with everything you need to know. This is 3 and Out.
Time for 3 and Out and Canty and Carlin on ESPN Radio. Shay Cornett, Amber Wilson here with you, and let's start with our first down. SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey says the league, meaning the SEC, is looking to move to a single division. So no more East and West. No more SEC East, no more SEC West. They're going to heavily lean in the direction of having one single division and eliminating the East and the West names and moving away from having 2 divisions. What do you think, Amber?
Yeah, I mean, I guess this probably has something to do with Texas and Oklahoma, right? Joining that conference with
Correct.
conference expansion, with, I guess, trying to simplify the whole thing. I don't know. I mean, I'm a through and through Gators fan. This is going to be, I've been my entire life. This is honestly an adjustment for me, this idea that there wouldn't be any divisions anymore. Like, we wouldn't be competing in the East. I guess it's just going to be the 2 best teams. So we're just always going to have, I mean, honestly, it'll probably be Bama and Georgia anyways in the SEC championship most years. But yeah, like that would have, I guess, made things even more interesting this season with Tennessee and LSU and the situation with a 2-loss Bama team. I don't know. I guess I'm not very passionate about it one way or another, but it'll take a little bit for me to adjust to it.
So the Pac-12 doesn't have divisions, right? And, they just they rotate playing each other in their conference. Now, the SEC is going to have more teams. So this makes sense to me. I'm a Big Ten girl. I went to Indiana, and so I'm used to having 2 divisions as well. But I would actually love it if the Big Ten did away with the different divisions because you don't pay as close attention to it, I feel like, anyways. Like, I think, well, and the SEC is different. It just means more. I get it. But I feel like you focus more in on the good teams versus the bad teams versus who can play who in each division. So to me, this actually makes perfect sense, and I love that Sankey's about to do it. All right, second down here. Ticketmaster announced today that due to extraordinarily high demands on ticketing systems and insufficient remaining ticket inventory to meet that demand, tomorrow's public on sale for the Taylor Swift The Eras Tour has been canceled. This is, I'm going first, Amber. This is ridiculous what is going on with these freaking Taylor Swift concert tickets. People are paying thousands, like $17,000 for some of these tickets.
What?
And people are waiting online in a queue for like 3 hours. Who's got this kind of time? Like, this is ridiculous. Honestly, I remember waiting in line at the box office for concert tickets. Probably would be a better option to what is happening here. It's absurd.
It is absurd. There's nothing in life I want to see this badly. Like, I love concerts. There is no music act in the entire world that I care enough to see this badly where I'm going to pay $17,000 for any of it, or ridiculous. Honestly, wait in queue for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. Like, I just don't have it in me. I'll just go to a different concert. I'll just find a different artist I want to go see. That being said, Shay, because you and I now have worked together multiple shows where we kind of rail against the Swifties. That being said, I do have a little bit of an admission to make. Okay. Some of the songs off Taylor Swift's latest album.
I know they're
fire.
Yeah, I know.
Fire.
I know. You can't deny that. But still, the way these fans go about these tickets, it's ridiculous. It's so unfair, and I hate everything about it. All right, third down here. Former Broncos offensive tackle Tyler Columbus, who hosts a show on 92.5 Altitude Sports in Denver, said today on what he's hearing from inside the Broncos organization about Russell Wilson is this, quote, Russ is losing his mind out there. He's using audibles from the Seahawks. The guys don't know the audibles. He's using code words that the guys just don't know. End
Can
quote.
this be true? Can this be true? I guess it would maybe explain some things that are happening with Russell Wilson, but has Russell Wilson had the reputation of not being prepared, like not knowing the playbook? It is week 11. You're telling me that he's still using code words from the Seahawks offense?
Didn't Tyler Lockett tell us this? Like he was mic'd up for Monday Night Football, and he kept yelling like, they have our codes, they have our play, they're using our stuff, they're using our words, our
Yeah, but maybe they were doing it to confuse them in that situation. But if he's legitimately doing it and like confusing his own offense, man, I don't know.
Yeah, this is
that
definitely
top 3 pick is going to look nice for the. Oh wait, Seahawks.
Ooh, this is 100% plausible because it is a mess what is going on with that offense, and yeah, I think Russell. I don't know that he's doing it though on purpose or that he's doing it to confuse people. I think he's confused in the moment. I'm not really sure, but I take that story for what you will, and I'm sure there's always two sides to every story, but that seems believable to me. All right, for Amber Wilson, I'm Shay Cornett. Thanks for hanging out with us here on KT and Carlin on ESPN Radio.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/joy. At Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/joy. That's 4hims.com/joy for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/JOY.
It's a critical showdown in the Pac-12 when a 10th-ranked Utah Utes head to Eugene to face the 12th-ranked Oregon Ducks. Coverage begins Saturday night at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN. Presented by Dr. Pepper.
A time to feast your rise on superstars and rising stars.
My friends, my squad, my gang. Who they think they playing? Not gonna look all day.
Got a chance for something fun tonight.
My team, yeah.
Celtics at 7:30 Eastern and Clippers Warriors at 10 Wednesday on ESPN, presented by State Farm.
It's NBA on ESPN front.
Coming up Friday, we will have a full breakdown of Thursday Night Football and look ahead to Jets and Patriots. Keyshawn J. Willimax, Friday, 6 a.m. Eastern, ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
ESPN Radio Sports Beat with Jason Fitz.
You might want to get your ticket for the Titans hype train tonight, because by tomorrow, that thing is going to be full. I'm not big on predictions, but the Titans are going to beat the Packers. And this one's simple to me. They can run the football. Green Bay won't be able to stop the run. And a Titans team that, frankly, is one-dimensional for the most part, hasn't been able to effectively pass the football at all, is where they are, even though, at best, they've gotten mediocre quarterback play from Ryan Tannehill. At worst, they've gotten flat-out bad quarterback play from Malik Willis. And none of it's mattered. The Titans are built in that way we love to talk about with the playoffs. They can run the football. They play good defense. They can get after the passer. All of the football isms. Now, I'm not big on predicting football games on the whole. If I could get them all right, I wouldn't work for ESPN. I'd own a small island somewhere and live a life of luxury in my personal castle. But this one feels too easy not to predict. I'm not sure what Vegas sees that makes Green Bay a favorite. I know what I see, and that's strength on weakness. The Titans are not going to do anything fancy, and on Thursday Night Football, that works. Thursday Night Football is about simplifying and do what you do well. That is why the Titans are going to win this football game. In 60 seconds, what that means for Green Bay.
Everyone can boost their digital confidence with NordVPN. All it takes is one simple click. NordVPN will block online trackers, hide your virtual location, and secure your devices from malware-infected files during downloads. It will also detect malicious websites. So catch the Black Friday deal for a 1 or 2 year plan at NordVPN.com and get 3 months for free. NordVPN, cybersecurity built for every day.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Starting trouble. No one likes that. We'll get you set up for some stronger starts. You might just need a fresh charge, and we'll take care of that free of charge. But if it is time for a new battery, we've got replacement batteries that'll fit your needs, starting at just $69.99. You can learn more about our battery selection at AutoZone.com. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Claim based on data from the NPD Group 2021.
Look, I'm not sure there's a more overhyped team in the NFL right now than the Packers. They get one win, and all of a sudden we're like, everything's fine with Green Bay. No, it's not. Nothing has changed. You had one big breakout performance by a wide receiver, and now suddenly we want to make it they figured it out? This NFL, more than ever this year, doesn't work in 1 week overreactions. It works in 3 or 4 week statements. And the 3 or 4 week statement on the Packers is still nothing comes easy. It's still they're not on the same page. And it's still on a short week. I don't trust this team to fire on all cylinders. Take the Titans tonight with the ESPN Radio Sports Beat.
You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.